We have done basics of allegation, but even after this, you'll find it confusing while applying to questions. Also, no book or institute explain this concept in detail. In my life, I have not seen any institute explaining this section in detail. So to remove your confusion and bring confidence in applying concept of allegation, I am taking a new topic, rate analysis. Through this topic, I'll try to make allegations easy and simple. So let's discuss it. Many times, after reading a question, students could not analyze whether the data given in question represents average of a group or is an individual average. So to remove that confusion, I've taken this topic, rate analysis. Before discussing this, let me tell you what is rate. Rate relates to different quantities of different dimension. Okay, like here, a speed is a rate, is a form of rate. Okay, because here two dimensions, kilometer and hour, are related with each other. That means 30 kilometer in an hour. Similarly, price is also a form of rate quantity because here two different dimensions, rupees and kg, are related with this sign per. Okay, and similarly, work and percentages can be said as a form of rate quantity. Okay, in a generalized way, if some quantity has this sign, or if I use this word per or an article, that means 30 kilometer per hour or something like per hour, I can say it represents a rate quantity. Why I am discussing about rate quantity? Because rate quantity represents the average of a group. Let me take you one example that will clear this. Okay, suppose there is a bus and in the first hour it travels 50 kilometer. In the second hour it travels 30 kilometer. In the third hour it travels 20 kilometer. In the fourth hour it travels 40 kilometer. In the fifth hour it travels 10 kilometer. Okay, and we have to find the average distance traveled by bus in an hour. Okay, in order to find the average distance traveled by bus in an hour, what I'll do, I'll add up all the observation and then divide by total number of observation. These are the hour, in 1 hour, in first hour, in second hour. That means the value of this is only one. The absolute value is 1 hour only. No? The bus has traveled for only 1 hour. No? Here, don't think it to be 2 hours. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll sum up the total all the observation, that is 50 kilometer, 30 kilometer, 20 kilometer, 40 kilometer and 10 kilometer, and I'll divide it by 5 because bus has traveled by 5 kilometers, and from here I'll get the average to be 30 kilometer per hour. This is the average distance traveled by bus in an hour, or I can say it as the average speed of bus. Okay, so again from here it is clear to you now that this is a rate quantity. Whenever I say speed, it is average quantity. Okay, whenever I say speed, it represents the average of some group. Okay, it may be any. Okay, so this is clear. This should be clear. Why I've taken this? Because in the previous lecture I've shown you that if two average quantities are there, we cannot add them and divide it by the total number of the averages in order to find the average. For example, there is a bus which travels at a speed of 60 kilometers an hour for 1 hour. Okay, for 1 hour, and again it travels at speed of 60 kilometers per hour for 2 hours. Now bus is traveling for 2 hours. Okay, and I have to find the average speed of bus. I cannot do like this, 30 plus 60 by 2, sorry, because these are the two averages and I am not doing this like this. This is wrong method. Okay, why this is wrong method? Because I have not applied the basic formula, this sum of all the observation over total number of observation. I have already discussed this in the previous lecture. Okay, in order to solve this question, I should solve it by weighted average concept. Okay, or I should use allegation to solve this question. Okay, this is clear. Now I'll discuss how this rate quantities can be solved with allegation. Okay, let me discuss that. For an example, I'm taking the same example again. Now this was a bus, and for the first hour it was traveling at speed of 30 km per hour. Okay, and again was traveling at a 60 km per hour, and it traveled here for 1 hour and traveled here for 2 hours. Okay, this is 2. Now I'm discussing the general equation or general representation of that allegation first. In the allegation, I write A1 here, A2 here, AW here, N1 here, and 2 here. Where A1, A2 represents the average and AW is the weighted average, and N1 and N2 are the total number of observations, okay, of each group. Okay, from here it is clear that I can say A1 to be the value of rate also. If I have the value of rate, I can also put it here and termed as an average. So I can write in this observation 30 kilometer, because 30 kilometer represents the average of some group. So I can write here the value of A1 to be 30, and again here I can write the place A2 with 60. This should be clear. Now what my question would be, what will be the value of N1 and N2? N1 and N2 represents number of observation, and here observation is hour. The term dimension and quantity which is after this sign or after per word, after the quantity of the dimension after the per word, represents the number, the dimension of observation. Okay, so here N1 will represents hour. Okay, N1 should be hour. Okay, suppose there would have been 30 rupees per kg, okay, then I would have written it, I would have taken N1 to be kg, but here it is hour, so I'll take N1 to be hour. So this is the most important concept while applying allegation. If you know the value of N1 and N2 easily, if you can determine from reading the question, you can easily solve the questions on allegation. So I'll put the value of N1. From here the value of N1 is 1 hour, and from here the value of N1 and N2 is 2 hours. Now I'll solve it by the cross section method, that is by allegation, and I'll write the value like this, and I'll equate this, and I'll find the value of AW. In this question AW will come out to be 50 km per hour. Okay, I think this is clear. You can also solve this by simple method. Speed, average speed is equal to sum of the total distance upon total time taken. Total time taken. You can also solve this by this method also. Just because average speed is a average, speed represents the average of a group, we use this formula, speed of sum of the all distance traveled and by total time taken. Okay, we never add up the speeds. So this concept should be clear, and if this concept is clear, you can solve questions on allegation very easily. Now I'll move to some examples where I discuss different kinds of example, and that will make the allegation more clear. I've just discussed rate concept, and on that I'm taking some examples. Okay, this is a simple example, but this will give confidence to you. Okay, our question is: a car travels at 20 km per hour for 40 minutes and at 30 km per hour for 60 minutes. Find the average speed of car for the total journey. Question is, there is a car and it travels at a speed of 20 km per hour, 20 kmph per hour for 40 minutes. Okay, and for 60 minutes it travels at a speed of 30 kmph, kilometer per hour. Okay, we have to find the average speed of the journey, total journey. Okay, you can solve this question by the basic method also, that is sum of the total distance traveled by total time taken. Okay, you will get the answer by that method also, but here I'll solve question by allegation. Here 20 km per hour is the average value, so I'll keep my A1 and A2 value like this, and then I'm assuming its average to be x. Okay, its average speed to be x, and here I'm writing 40 minutes. Okay, 40 minutes, but my value is in 20 km per hour, so you'll ask to convert it to hour, so I'm converting into hour. Okay, and here I'll convert it again to hour. 60 minutes I'll convert it to hour, but there is no need to convert it to hour because it is a ratio value. Ultimately we have to deduct this. Okay, so here I have done for explanation part only, but you don't need to convert every time. Okay, Now I'll equate it. Sorry, first I have to solve this by cross method also. The value of x will be between 20 and 30. So it will be like this, 30 minus x upon of x minus 20. Now it is equal. Okay, this is the basic equation of allegation which I got. This 60 is removed now. Okay, that's why I was saying that it is not required here to divide it by 60. Okay, again it's cut it, it's round, it's 22s or 23s are. Okay, now I'll solve the value of x. 2x minus of 40 will be equal to 90 minus of 3x. And it will come out to be 5x is equal to 130, and from here I'll get the value of x to be 26 km per hour. Okay, this is the answer. This is the average speed of a car for the whole journey. You can solve this question by basic also, but that may take some time. But it is very easy to solve this question by allegation. However, if I have done some manipulation here, if I change this question, this minute, replace this minute by kilometer. Okay, if I write kilometer here, and again here also if I write kilometer here, and then if I ask whether you can directly apply allegation, no. Now students sometimes say that they can apply, but now you cannot directly apply allegation. You cannot directly write like this, that the value will be now 40 kilometer and 60 kilometer. Why? If I read the question is the car travels at 20 km per hour for 40 kilometer. This is kilometer, okay now, and this is 60 kilometer now. That means the car has traveled at a speed of 20 km per hour for 40 kilometers and 60 km hours for 30 kilometer, and we have to find the average. So now we cannot apply allegation like this. Why? Because I have already told you that if here is a rate value, then this quantity should be number of observation. That means observation should be in the form of hour. That means here hour, and that means time should come here. But here this value indicates its kilometer, it is its distance. So we cannot directly apply this allegation. First we have to find the time here, and then we can apply, or else we'll solve this question by the basic method, that is sum of the total distance traveled by car by total time taken. I think this is clear to you. Now I'm moving to the second question. Okay. Second question is, a company produces an average of 4,000 items per month for the first 3 months. How much item it must produce on an average per month over the next 9 months to average 4,375 items per month over the whole year? Question is, there is a company and it wants its average item production to be 4,375 per month. Okay, over a year period, okay, or in a whole period, that is in 12 months period. The company wants their average to be 4,375 in 12 months period, okay. But company produces 4,000 items in the first 3 months. Company has produced on an average of 4,000 items on first 3 months, okay, and they have to produce some item. That means I am assuming it to be X, and we have to find the average production in the next 9 months. Okay, average production in the next 9 months, so that the company's overall, that means whole year production average goes to be 4,375 units per month. Okay, this is the question. We will solve this question by allegation again. These are the rate values, so you can directly write it like this. The value of A1 will be here, and the corresponding month will be 3, because why it is a rate quantity? Because it indicates 4,000 items per month. Therefore, this item will be 3. This number will be 3 again. And now I am assuming this for the 9 month. I am assuming that company has produced X quantity on an average, and overall average for the year. That means for the 12 months, 9 plus 3 months, that is 4,375 units. And now I'll solve it by the allegation. If I solve it with the allegation, it will come out to be like this. 4x minus 4,375 will be equal to 375. 4,375 minus 4,000, which is 375. Now I'll solve it. It will be 125, and from here I'll get the value of x to be 4,500. That means the average production in that 9 month company should produce to be 4,500 rupees. So this is the answer of this question. You could have solved this question by basic method also, but in that case you would have done a lot of calculation to get the answer. I think this allegation concept is clear to you. I have not indicated by arrow because I have solved it roughly because lack of time, you can also solve it on by basic method also for cross checking. Answer will come out to be same. So I think this concept is clear to you now, but I'll take some more examples on it so that you gain more confidence on this. Let's discuss next question. Question is, the cricketer whose bowling averages 24.85 runs per wicket takes 5 wickets for 52 runs and thereby decreases his average by 0.85. Find the number of wickets taken by him till the last match. There is a bowler and whose bowling averages given before the last match he played was 24.85 runs. That runs per wicket. That means for every wicket he gives 24.85 runs. Okay, this should be clear. For every wicket he gives 24.85 runs. Now what? He played one match. That means last match, in recent match he gave 52 runs for 5 wickets. Okay, and he gave 52 runs for the 5 wickets. Now what? Ultimately his average is decreased by 0.85 runs, 0.85 only. Okay, so his new average is 24. Okay, because if I subtract 0.85 from this, I'll get 24. Our question is, we have to find the number of wickets which he took before the last match he played. Okay, that means when his average was 24.85, we have to find how much wicket he has taken at that time. So I think this question is clear to you. Now I'll solve this question with allegation method. You can solve this question by basic method also, but here I'll solve this question by allegation first. Okay, here the average was earlier of the A1 will be 24.85. This was the earlier average before he played the last match, and we have to find the corresponding wicket. While wicket, we have to find, because if I evaluate this will be 24.85 run per wicket. That means the corresponding observation will be wickets only, in the terms of wickets only. So I can say he took X wickets when his average was 24.85, and now his new average is 24 because it is now decreased by 0.85, and therefore its new average after the last match is 24. And in the last match, if I calculate his average, in the last match he gave 52 runs for 5 wickets. Okay, so in the last match his average was 10.2 runs per wicket. So I'll write it like 10.2 runs per wicket in the last match. Okay, so it's 10.4. It will come out to be 10.4. Okay, in the last match his average was 10.4. Now in the last match he took 5 wickets, and now I have to solve this allegation and I'll get the answer. I'll calculate the value of X. If I calculate it like this, it will be 13.6, and here it will be tweeted and it will be 0.85, and from here if I'll solve it, the value of X will come out to be 80. I'll just simply solve it out. I'll get the value of X to be 80. Hence I can say the cricketer has taken 80 wickets before the last match he played. This question was reduced with simple equation by allegation. If you would have solved this question by basic method, this question would have been somewhat lengthy. Sorry. I'm solving this question by basic method also. In the basic method, we have, in order to calculate his average wickets, we would have to find the total number of the runs he gave and have to divide it by total number of wickets he has taken. So I have assumed that he has taken X wickets before the last match he played. So the earlier run which he would have given was 24.85 into X, because this is the run which he has given before the last match. In the last match he gave 52 runs more, and number of wickets he took is X plus 5. X before that match, and after that match he took 5 wickets, and his new average is 24. And from here I have to calculate the value of X. Again the value of X will come out to be 80. But here in this situation I have to calculate lot. But with this method I can easily solve this question. Now moving to the last question of this topic. Let's discuss last question of this video, and it is an important question because it is different from all the other questions which we have discussed here. Mr. Mittal purchased 2 steel factories, one in India and another in Malaysia, for total rupees 72 crore. Later on, he sold the Indian factory at 16% profit and Malaysian factory at 24% profit. Thus he gained total profit of 19%. Find the price of Indian factory at which Mr. Mittal purchased. Question is, Mr. Mittal purchased two steel factories, one in India and other in Malaysia, and the combined cost he paid for the both factories 72 crore rupees. And later on he sold the factories. He sold Indian factory at 16% profit and Malaysian factory at 24% profit, and thus he finally gained 19% in overall sale. Now question is, we have to find the price of Indian factory at which Mr. Mittal purchased. I think we have got the question. This question can be solved by basics of profit and loss or by allegations also. Since I have not discussed profit and loss, so I will not solve it by the basic method. But before solving this question by allegation, I'd like to tell one thing, that profit is always calculated on CP, that is cost price. Cost price is the price at which what we have purchased something, okay? And profit is always calculated on cost price. Suppose price of the product we purchase is 100, okay, and we get 16% profit in that. That means the selling price, that means the price at which we sold something will be 116, okay. So profit is always calculated on cost price. So this should be known. I have added only 16% of 100, 16% of 100 to 100 to get the 116 as CSP. So this point should be clear. Here the questions are given on the terms of percentages, and I have already told that percentage is also a rate value, and here profit is given, first profit on Indian factory is given to be 16%. So since it is a percent and profit percent, so we'll calculate the profit percent with respect to the cost price. So I am taking here the observation to be NI, which is to be the cost price of the factory, of the cost price of Indian factory, because the profit on Indian factory is 16%. On a Malaysian factory it's 24%, sorry, it's 24%. So I am taking it to be N2, okay, N2. The cost price of Malaysian factory is N2, and the overall profit is 19%, okay. So now I'll apply allegation. After applying allegation, 24 minus 19, which is 5, and here it will come out to be 3. 19 minus 16, which is 3. Since I have not told you about ratios or some other concepts, so I am doing this question by like this. Else you can solve this question by many other ways, okay, from this part only. So now I am calculating the value of N2 in terms of N1, that is 3 by 5 of N1, okay. I think till here it is clear to you. Now what? It is given the cost price of Indian factory and the Malaysian factory is 72 crore rupees, okay. So I am just substituting value of N2 here. So after substitution it will be like this, and it will be 8 times N1 by 5, and it's 72, and from here the value of N1 will come out to be 45 crore rupees. Hence Mr. Mittal has purchased Indian factory at a price of rupees 45 crore rupees. I think this question is clear to you. Now I'll move to the next section, that is a series, number series, question based on number series, okay, and this is sufficient for allegation part.